Hey Sparkle Squad, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, I'm Jasmine and welcome to my channel. In today's video, I'm going to be sharing with you guys how to do a single loop in figure skating. And this video actually was requested by some of you guys, so I hope that this video helps you guys get your single loop in figure skating. And without further ado, let's get started. Alright guys, so loop is actually the first jump that is a lot different from all of the other jumps that we've already learned so far, including Waltz jump, Salchow, and toe loop, because there are actually two sections of jumps. You have your Waltz jumps and you have loop jumps. So Waltz jumps are Waltz jump, sal, and toe, and loop jumps are loop, flip, and lutz. So once you get to learn how to do your loop, then your flip and lutz are going to be a lot easier, but it is a lot harder to learn, especially now since it's one of like the first videos that we haven't, or like one of the first jumps that we haven't learned how to do, and it's not the same base as a Waltz jump, a sal, or a toe. But either way, I do recommend having a Waltz jump, sal, and toe before you start learning your loop. Alright guys, so there's actually two main ways that you can get into your loop. There's also a lot more, but I can't actually remember all of them, but these are the two main ones that I recommend doing, especially if you're just learning how to do loop. So the first one that we have is an inside 3-turn into your loop jump, and this actually helps with like momentum going into it, because you don't have to generate all of like this twist or like the speed going into it. So loop, inside 3 into it goes like this, and then you just go into your loop. And then the other one that we have is from skating backwards and basically just gliding into it. So that one, you just do some backward crossovers. You go into your position, you glide backwards, and then you go into your loop. So those are the two main ways to go into your single loop, and you can choose whichever one works best for you. Alright guys, so for the purpose of this video, I'm actually going to be demonstrating it using the inside 3 into the loop, because this is actually a lot easier for beginners to learn how to do their loop, because it helps you get the momentum into it. Going straight into it just from gliding backwards like this is more advanced, and I recommend learning that once you already have your single loop. So for the purpose of this video, I'm going to do the inside 3, but if you already have a loop and you just are using this video to make it better, then I recommend trying the other one, because that is a lot more common, and it'll also make your loop more controlled. So basically all we're going to do is we're just going to go right here. We're going to do a nice inside 3 turn, and then once we do the inside 3, we're not going to keep our leg behind us. We're actually going to bring it in front of us. So we're going to go inside 3, our leg is behind us, and then when we return, we're going to bring our foot in front of us just like this. And it's going to look, we're going to be standing in this position. The leg that we're standing on is going to be a little bit bent, and also the leg that is up in the air is also going to be bent, almost like it's in an H position. So once we have this position, then we're just going to place this front foot down on the ice, and we're going to work on gliding in that position. So we're going to go inside 3. We're going to turn, and we're going to place our foot on the ice, and we're just going to glide in this position and hold this right here. And you want to make sure that your arms are hugging the circle, because as you can see, when I'm gliding, I'm going on a circle pattern. So I'm going here, and I'm just gliding, and I want to work on this until we get comfortable with that. Alright guys, so now I'm going to go over the motion that our standing leg is doing while we're going into our loop. So we're going to be standing right here next to the wall, and the wall is a lot of help when we're doing this, especially when we're first learning it. So we're going to get in that same position that we were in after we did our inside 3 turn. So we're going to go here, and this back foot that we're standing on, and we want more pressure on this foot. So this foot that's in front of us is barely touching the ice. So once we have more pressure on that one, what we're going to do is we're actually going to slide it back and around in a circle, and we're going to create like almost like a L or J or C shape, just like this. And we're just going to work on that motion, because when we're actually doing our loop, this foot slides behind us, and that is what we use to pivot to get up into our jump. So we want to work on that motion on the wall until we're comfortable with it. Alright, so once we have that motion on the wall, what we're going to do is we're actually going to try and do it off of the wall, and we're going to add half a rotation to it. So we're going to do our inside 3 turn. We're going to go into this position, we're going to slide our foot, and we're going to jump, and we're going to land on 2 feet going forwards. So we're going to do that again, and we're going to try and make it a little bit quicker. So we're going to do our inside 3 turn, we're here, and we're going to jump, and land on 2 feet going forwards. And we're going to work on that motion until we're comfortable with it, and then we can start adding more rotation in the air. Wanted to go over before we start adding more rotation to it is the motion of our free leg that is in front of us. So what we're going to do is we're going to do our inside 3 turn. We're gliding right here, and when we jump, what we're actually going to do is we're actually going to bring it up. So we're going to go in this same motion. I'm going to try and do it a little bit closer to that, you guys can see it. So we're going to go inside 3 turn. We're here, this foot comes up, and we use that leg to help lift us on our jump. So that's what's going to help us get our height. We're going to go inside 3, here, lift our foot, and jump. And then we're going to work on that motion until we get comfortable with it. Alright guys, so now once we have that motion down, what we're going to do is we're going to do that same entry, and we're going to do a full rotation going into it. So what we're going to do is we're going to do our inside 3 turn, inside 3, hold, we're going to stay right here, and we're going to jump and do our full rotation. And we're just basically going to land on 2 feet. So we're going to do that again. And we're just going to go here, jump, land, and on 2 feet. And then we're going to work on that until we're comfortable with it. Okay, so now what we're going to do is we're going to do the same entry, we're going to do our full rotation, and then we're going to step out into a landing position. We're not going to automatically land on 1 foot, so we're still going to land on 2 feet, but then we're going to push out into a landing position so that we get that motion and we get comfortable with it. So we're going to do our inside 3, full rotation, land, and push out into a landing position. And if you can, we want to make that motion as quick as possible, so when we land, we want to barely touch down with both feet. So we're going to try and make it as similar as to landing on 1 foot, except we're not landing on 1 foot. So we're going to go inside 3, jump, and push out into a landing position. And we're going to work on that until we're comfortable, and then after that, we can try doing it on 1 foot. Alright, so now once we have our loop, what we're going to do is we're going to try and land on 1 foot. And it doesn't have to be perfect at first, so I recommend going nice and slow. So we're going to do our inside 3, we're going to do our rotation, and we're going to land on 1 foot in a nice landing position. When we land, we don't want to land on a stiff leg, so we don't want to do our loop and then just land like that, because that's not going to work. We want to make sure that when we land, we bend our knee, and that's going to help us absorb the landing, and it's not going to be as painful either. So we're going to go inside 3, jump, and land, just like so. And then after we get comfortable with that, we're going to start to add some speed to it. Alright guys, so now once we have our loop, what we're going to do is we're going to add some speed to it. So we're going to get a couple of crossovers. We're going to do our inside 3 and our loop. Once we get speed into our loop, it's going to make it a lot bigger, and it's going to be a little bit harder to control at first, but trust me, we're going to slowly and gradually add speed to it, so we don't want to go flying into it on our first time adding speed to it. So we just want to slowly add speed to it, and then once we get comfortable with each level of speed, then we're going to be able to build it up all the way until we can do it with a bunch of speed. So we're going to do our inside 3 and our loop. Alright guys, so this is the end of the video. I hope that you guys enjoyed and that it helped you guys get your loop in figure skating, or if you already had your loop, it gave you some tips on how to improve your loop. But if you guys have any other requests on videos that I should do, leave those in the comments down below and I'd be happy to do those for you guys. But this is the end, and I will see you guys in my next video. Love you guys. Bye!